Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Eat Saigon. I'm Vanessa, and today we are going to learn how to make banh mi 4 ways. Now in Vietnamese, banh mi is known as bread, but more importantly and more popular ways of thinking of banh mi is banh mi filled with different meats and vegetables. With banh mi, it originated back in the mid-1950s. After the French defeat, the first banh mi was made by a couple named Mr. and Mrs. Lee, where they opened up a banh mi shop and filled it with various meats. Prior to that, the French colonization, we had to make it in a certain way where it was just with butter and very expensive meats. But after the French defeat, Vietnam has now been able to make it in different versions, a much cheaper way, and it's just really, really popular within Vietnam and then now in the US. After 1975, US then became aware of banh mi because Vietnamese people fled Vietnam, and from there they migrated within San Diego, Seattle, Houston, Paris, and that is how we all know banh mi today. Okay, so what you see on this plate is an assortment of meats. We're going to make banh mi 4 ways. So the first way that we're going to start out with is banh mi đặc biệt. And that means a variety of meats, which right here you'll see chả lụa, chả nem, chả bò, and thịt nồi, which is essentially cold cuts. This one here is cheese head. And then the second way that we're going to make banh mi is going to be banh mi thịt nướng. Everybody loves this because the grilled pork has all that packed flavor in it. Third one that we're going to make is going to be chả cá, which is fried fish. Really, really delicious. It's got that nice crunch to it when you add that with the vegetables. And then last but not least, we are going to make banh mi trứng chả bông, which is banh mi with a fried egg and pork floss. First, banh mi is not complete without pate. It is so delicious. You'll see some of the butter that's in there. It's just really going to make the meats and the vegetables and the bread just come together. Now, I actually ran out of pickled daikon and carrots, so I decided to change it up just a little bit and give it a modern twist. Give it a Vanessa twist, if you will. And that is, I'm going to actually add kimchi in this. Same thing, right? I mean, it's pickled, it's sour, it's also spicy. So we're going to put this in the banh mi. We have here some salt, we have here some vegetable oil, which I am actually going to combine this, and we are going to make our very own Vietnamese mayo. And that's going to be consisting of egg whites, a little bit of lemon juice, and then, as I mentioned earlier, the salt and the oil. We're just going to whisk that together and have this really light mayo. And we're going to add that and spread that into the banh mi. As for the vegetables, we have here, of course, cucumbers, nicely sliced cucumbers, crunchy. We have cilantro. We have here chili because we have to have that in there. Now in Vietnam, actually, jalapenos are not as popular as they are in the US, so you'll see some variation in the chilies that I use throughout different recipes. But for the most part, it's all going to be very light in flavor. The chilies here in Vietnam are not as spicy, same with jalapenos, so it'll still have that nice slight kick to it, but not too much. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to start off with to make the mayo is going to be 1 egg. We're going to crack this and just use the egg whites. Half a cup of vegetable oil. You want to add that in. And then we have some salt. So I typically use about 1 generous pinch. At the very end, we're going to add in 1 squeeze of lemon juice in there. So I'm going to use just about half of a lime. You could use lime or lemon, whichever is your preference. So you want to whisk that together for a few minutes. So now that that has been whisked, you'll see that it's a very nice, thick consistency here. So we're going to set this aside. We are actually going to start on making banh mi đặc biệt. So this banh mi here, you could buy it at your local supermarkets. So here in Vietnam, buying things are relatively cheap. So I bought this bread, and this was 3K dong, which equals to about 15 cents in the US. So really, really cheap. With banh mi, it's typically eaten for breakfast, but of course, in the US and other parts of the world, you can eat it for lunch, you can eat it as a mid-afternoon snack, for dinner. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you, this is our local Vietnamese breakfast. So I am going to add in the pate and the butter. You can also find this at Vietnamese supermarkets. You can buy this in a can. Sometimes they'll sell it fresh. I like a lot of pate and butter, so I'm going to just load that in there. So now we're going to add in the vegetables. We're going to add in some cucumber slices here. We're going to add in some cilantro. So now that we have in the cilantro and the cucumbers, I'm going to add in a little bit of that drizzle of mayo. Then we're going to add in the cold cuts. We're going to add in the jalua. This is very popular. More cilantro and just another drizzle of the mayo. And then last but not least, we're going to add in just a little bit of soy sauce. That is your banh mi đặc biệt. Now the next banh mi that we're going to make is going to be banh mi thịt nướng. Drizzle in some of that mayo again. I'm going to add in cilantro. Now we're going to add in thịt nướng. This one, we are going to add the kimchi in there. I think the nice pickled flavor will give it a good balance of flavors. Okay, so the next banh mi we're going to make is banh mi chả cá. Banh mi chả cá is a favorite amongst people in Vietnam, especially for people that just don't want protein, maybe pescatarians, want to change up the protein profile. You can see the chả cá is perfectly fried, little strips of fish. This I'm going to add some kimchi in it as well. So now that the pan is nice and hot, we're going to fry up an egg. So we're going to put in just a little bit of vegetable oil. So you want to fry the egg about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. I like to have my eggs a little bit well done, not runny, because when I bite into the banh mi, I don't want it to be oozing out into my hands, but keep in mind that's just my personal preference on how I eat banh mi. I know some people love to have it runny because it kind of reminds them growing up eating banh mi with eggs and dipping that in there. So banh mi is made any way that you like, which is great. Now we're going to add in the pate. We're going to add in the pork floss. Growing up, pork floss was one of those things that you could eat by itself. It was so good as a snack. After school, sometimes I'd eat it with rice. I'd roll it up into a ball and then just have like a little rice ball with chabong in it. So, so good. And then of course, in banh mi, it's delicious. So now I'm going to add in the egg. I'm going to add in a chili. And then give it just a nice drizzle of soy sauce, guys. Eggs and soy sauce, you cannot beat that. All right, and there you have it. bánh mì trứng chà bông. Finished making banh mi 4 ways. Let's go ahead and dig in. I'm actually going to pick 2 of my favorites. I don't think I have the capacity to eat 4, but I can definitely scarf down 2. So I am going to start with banh mi đặc biệt. I love this one because it has all the various meats in there. Look at that, it looks so yummy. I think growing up, that's what I really loved about banh mi. I mean, sandwiches, there's many forms of that. It comes in many different cuisines, but banh mi holds a special place to my heart because of the meats that are in it, the pate and the butter, the cucumbers, the cilantro, and of course the chili peppers. So I'm going to go ahead and take a bite. That was really good, guys. I'm wondering if I should open my own banh mi shop right now. Everything is so simple to make. All the ingredients are really cheap. You can find it in your local supermarkets. And in Vietnam, there's just an abundant amount of vegetables and meats that you can buy on every street corner. That's the beauty of it. This one is banh mi chả cá. And this one I put in the kimchi, which I really, really love. I think kimchi has a nice acidity and spiciness to things. And if you run out of đậu chua like I did today, just stick that in there and you're good to go. So this is the chả cá one. Alright guys, there you have it. Banh mi 4 ways. I am actually going to sit down and enjoy the rest of the banh mi here. I don't want to have you see me eating the entire sandwich and just scarfing down on it. So for the sake of time, I will go ahead and end it here. But I wanted to thank you. Please like, please share, please subscribe. And then last but not least, leave your comments. If there is a particular way that you and your family like to eat banh mi, whether a more modern take on it, just like how I added the kimchi into it, or maybe you like to add a different kind of meat and that I can share that with the rest of the world, please leave your comments. I am really open to that, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. Bye.